Hello students, welcome back. Children, today we shall take up a topic in English grammar, a very important topic entitled Interchange of Degrees of Comparison. I'm sure you've heard about this topic and many of you may find this a little difficult when it comes to interchange of degree of comparison. Okay, now first of all, let me tell you, when we're talking about degrees of comparison, children, we're talking about adjectives. And we have 3 degrees of comparison, that is positive, comparative and superlative. So let's start then. Please sit down with your notebooks so that you can write down the sentences and you can write down the answers also there. Okay, so let's start then. First, let's see what is degrees of comparison. When we talk about degrees of comparison, they are used when we compare. The very word comparison means compare. You know what's the meaning of compare, no? When you compare one person or one thing with another. So comparison दो चीज के बीच में होता है. Okay? So we have degrees of comparison. We compare one person or one thing with another. Now, how many degrees of comparison? Already done. I told you. Positive degree, comparative degree and superlative degree. Now let's start with the first one, positive degree. Now when I say positive degree, what does it do? It describes only one person, place or thing without making any comparison. Alright? Like, so positive degree, you see the example. I just say this apple is big. Now which is the word that is describing the apple, children? The word big. So this is showing you the degree. So it is only big. So what degree is it? It is positive degree. Now when I say comparative degree, it is used to compare two persons, places or things. There is a comparison that comes from the word comparative. Okay. So when I say, now look at this, there is, two things here, 2 apples here. So this apple is bigger than the other. So there is a comparison. So when there is a comparison, I'm using the word ER. See, the spellings also change. The big becomes bigger. So double G ER. And the word than. Always remember in comparative, we have the word than because you're comparing between 2 things. And what is superlative degree? Superlative degree is used to compare 3 or more persons, places or things. 3 or more. Now you see here there are 3 apples. One is big, one is bigger, and the other is the biggest. So we say this apple is the biggest of all. So see the spelling here. You put double G and EST. So when EST comes, it's superlative degree. So I hope you understood these 3 examples of positive, comparative and superlative degree. Now let us see when it comes in the sentences, children, and when you have to change it into different types of degrees, okay? So let's start with sentences. Now, examples. Now the first example given here is, be very attentive now. We say, Reena is the smartest girl in the class. Now, whenever you get a sentence, children, don't go to change straight away. First, you see in which degree it is. अभी कैसा hint मिलेगा आपको? कौन सा degree है? Because you have the words EST, no, smartest. So it is superlative degree. Okay? Now, when I say Reena is the smartest girl in the class, is there any other girl smart? No. Reena is the only girl that is smartest. She is the smartest girl. Alright? So when you get a sentence like this, like when the person is smartest, we have to write in positive degree these words. No other girl in the class is as smart as Reena. So what are the important words when it comes in positive degree? It will say no other because she is the smartest. So no other girl in the class is as smart as. Now what I put in blue, children, these words are very important when we write positive degree. We say as smart. Now smart means it has to be positive degree. Okay, as Reena. So there is no comparison here. You're just saying, making a statement here. Okay, that is positive. Now comparative will be what? Veena is smarter, ER comes here, than any other girl in the class, because there's no any other girls who are smart. So you say she's smarter, Veena is smarter than. See, this word than comes in comparative degree. So you have to pay importance to all this, okay? Than any other girl in the class. Let's take a similar example with the words different, okay? Now, India is the largest democracy in the world. Now, first what you have to do, find out which degree it is. Which degree it is, children? It is EST, largest है, तो यहाँ पर superlative degree है, ठीक है? Now you have to change it into positive. So India is the largest means, is there any other country in the world? No. Which has the largest democracy? No. So we'll say no other democracy in the world is as large as India. So you see the words there, no other is very important. You've seen here in the earlier example also it's coming no other, and as on both sides of the adjective. So as large as, very important here. These things are important, okay? This is positive degree. Then comparative, how will you write? India is larger because it's largest. So large, then larger, ER. Larger than, this word is important, than any other democracy in the world. So you have to take the words which are there in the sentences and write it down. Okay, similar thing. So this is comparative degree. Let's take another example to understand it better. If I say Kalidas was the greatest poet of India. Okay? Now, which degree is it? It is EST. So it has to be superlative degree. Now I have to change it into positive and I have changed it into comparative. So when I change it into positive, how it will come? No other poet of India was. Now you know it is was. Why? Because Kalidas is the past, talking about the past person, no? So was as great as. So as great as. So great is there, so it is positive degree, and on both sides you have as. Okay? And then comparative is easy, it is similar to what we did. Kalidas was greater than any other. All these words are very important, okay, when you're writing down. Greater, so ER, than any other poet of India. That is comparative degree. Now let's see another example which usually comes for exams, okay. Now what is that example? Now look here. If I say Susie is one of the cleverest girls in the class. Now I have not said in the earlier example, children, we had said what? If it had come, it would say Susie is the cleverest girl in the class. But here when I say Susie is one of the cleverest, इसका मतलब पूरे क्लास में एक बच्ची है, लेकिन इसके अलावा भी दूसरे बच्चे हैं. So she is one of the cleverest girl. Okay, she is not the only cleverest girl. Remember this. So first, what am I going to do now? First, I'm going to see which degree it is. It is EST, means it is superlative degree. Alright, now I have to change it into comparative and positive. So when I put it into comparative, I will say Susie is cleverer, because ER, no? Comparative. Than, this word than always comes for comparative. Than most other girls. We say most other, why? Because she is not the only one. There are others also. So most other girls in the class, comparative degree. Because why we say that? Because she is one of the. Then in positive degree, how I will write? Very few girls. These words are very important. What I put in blueprint, children, this is very important. These words you have to write when you write it in this following degrees. So positive it will be very few girls in the class are as clever as. You can see as on both the side positive degree. Okay. And clever means you come to know it is positive degree as Susie. Then let's move on to another example similar to this. When I say Jawaharlal Nehru was one of the greatest leader of our time. One of the greatest leader means there was other leaders. So this is which degree? EST तो superlative degree है. Okay, so let me put it into comparative. How will I put it? See, the same words are there, children. Jawaharlal was greater, ER, comparative, than most other leaders of our time. You can see here, than most other girls. Here it is, than most other leaders. The same words which are there in that sentence you have to write. So, leaders of our time. So, this is comparative. How do we know? Because you're putting the word than and you're putting ER. Now, in positive, how I will say? I will say very few leaders. Why? Because I am saying here, Jawaharlal Nehru was one. So, there were others. So, we say very few leaders of our time were as great as Jawaharlal Nehru. This is positive degree. Let's take another example. If I say, he is one of the richest men in this village. What do you have to do? The first thing, find out which degree. So you look, you read, he is one of the richest. EST आ रहा है, इसका मतलब superlative degree है. Now, I have to make it comparative. Okay, but he is one of the, means there are others also. So, he is richer than most other men in this village. So, it will come comparative degree. And I'm using the word ER and than. Okay. And when it comes to positive degree, how I'm going to write? Very few men in this village are, because we're saying men, no? So, it will be are, many, as rich as he. So, you see, rich means positive degree and I'm putting the word as on both the sides. So, these are two different examples which are very, very important from your exam point of view. So, what we did today, children, we did degrees of adjectives. We said they are used when we need to compare things. And we saw three different types, that is positive, comparative and superlative degree. And positive is used to describe, not compare. And comparative is used to compare two things. Superlative is used to compare more than two things. So you can see here, tall, taller, tallest. So I hope you understood this little video on degrees of comparison, how to interchange it, children. I would say, children, please go through all the examples again. Follow the rules that are given there, the words which I have highlighted in blue. Please see that same kind of words you have to write when you get an examples like that. Alright, practice this in your notebook. I'll be giving you a small assignment. Please see that you do the assignment too. Thank you, children, and God bless you.